Emmeline Parker was always known for her sweetness and contagious energy. In a small town, nestled among the rolling hills of Pennsylvania, where neighbors greeted one another by first name, and secrets rarely lingered for long, Emma's presence was a gentle, familiar comfort. She was the kind of child whose laughter echoed through school hallways, whose kindness left an imprint on everyone she met. Whether she was organizing bake sales, volunteering at community events, or simply riding her bright yellow bicycle through the tree-lined streets, Emma radiated a warmth that made her unforgettable. On the 3rd of March 2011, a Thursday marked by chilly winds and a sky heavy with clouds, Emma volunteered to deliver cakes sold at a school charity bazaar. She packed her favorite lilac backpack, shrugged on her trusty red coat, and set off on her bicycle just after lunch. The air was crisp, and the scent of damp earth hinted at the rain that would soon arrive. Emma's mother, always attentive to the shifting weather, asked her to be home before 4 o'clock. It seemed a simple request in a town where every front porch felt safe, and every neighbor watched over the children as if they were their own. Neighbors remembered seeing Emma that afternoon, her cheeks flushed from the cold, her smile bright, as she stopped at a blue-painted house to make her last delivery. She was seen chatting with a family friend, her bicycle propped against the fence, the basket still half full of cakes. But after that, Emma vanished, leaving behind only questions and a silence that would soon engulf the entire town. When 4 o'clock came and went with no sign of Emma, her mother's worry was at first gentle, then urgent. By 4:30, she was walking the familiar streets, calling her daughter's name, her voice growing tighter with each unanswered echo. At 5, she found Emma's bicycle lying abandoned near the edge of a small bridge, a place where children often paused to watch the water rush below. The bike's chain was still spinning as if it had just been dropped. There was no sign of Emma. News of her disappearance spread swiftly, shattering the town's sense of safety. Flyers bearing Emma's smiling face appeared overnight on every lamppost and bulletin board. Volunteers, some of whom had barely spoken before, banded together, combing forests, searching fields, and walking the banks of streams. Police, aided by search dogs and divers, scoured every inch of the area. The community's grief was palpable, their hopes stubborn but fragile. Each day without answers felt heavier than the last. As weeks turned into months, the search for Emma became a ritual of longing and heartbreak. Some whispered about a black pickup truck seen circling the neighborhood that afternoon. Others recalled hearing shouts near the bridge, but the details were always hazy, slipping away like dreams upon waking. Without evidence, the theories remained just that, painful possibilities, never certainty. Emma's parents refused to surrender to despair. Every year on her birthday, they organized candlelight vigils, inviting the community to remember Emma and to keep hope alive. They wrote open letters, pleading for information, for closure, for anything that might bring their daughter back. But as time passed, the weight of grief became impossible to bear within the walls of their home, filled as it was with memories and reminders of what had been lost. In 2014, 3 years after Emma's disappearance, they moved away, carrying their sorrow with them. For 8 long years, Emma's fate remained a mystery. Then, in September 2019, a young woman in her early 20s walked into a psychologist's office in a city nearly 200 kilometers from where Emma had vanished. She gave a false name and kept her eyes lowered, her posture wary. Yet beneath the surface, the therapist sensed a deep, abiding sadness, a longing for something unnamed. Over the course of several sessions, fragments of her story began to emerge. She spoke of a childhood interrupted, of a yellow bicycle, of a red coat, of a bridge that haunted her dreams. The therapist, struck by the details, began to wonder if this young woman could be connected to a missing child case he had read about years before. He encouraged her to seek official help, but she disappeared before she could be persuaded. Still, she had left enough clues for him to contact authorities. Investigators cross-referenced her story with old case files, and soon a possibility emerged. This could be Emma Parker. Cautiously, the authorities reopened the investigation. DNA tests were arranged, and Emma's parents, weary from years of false leads and heartbreak, agreed to participate. The weeks that followed were agonizing, filled with a hope so fragile it felt dangerous to acknowledge. Finally, on a cold November morning, the results arrived. It was Emma. The revelation rippled through the town like a silent earthquake. The girl they had mourned, the girl whose absence had left a wound in the community, was alive. But the story of her disappearance was more harrowing than anyone had imagined. On that fateful day, in March 2011, after making her final cake delivery, Emma had decided to take a shortcut across the old bridge, eager to beat the rain and make it home on time. There, she encountered a man, a mechanic known by only a few locals, someone who had drifted into town and kept mostly to himself. Using a friendly pretext, he lured Emma to his black pickup truck. In a matter of moments, she was gone, whisked away from the life she knew. For years, Emma lived under a false identity, moving from state to state. Her abductor, posing as her adoptive father, kept her isolated, deprived of school, friends, or any connection to her past. He constructed a world of lies, convincing Emma that no one was searching for her, that her old life was nothing but a faded dream. It was a prison without bars, built from fear and manipulation. Freedom came unexpectedly. The man who had stolen her childhood died suddenly in a household accident, leaving Emma alone and adrift. With nowhere to turn, she wandered for days before finally seeking help at the psychologist's office. There, for the first time, she began to reclaim the pieces of her identity. The journey back was fraught with uncertainty and pain, but it was also marked by resilience and hope. The reunion with her parents was both joyous and tentative. Years apart had created a chasm of unspoken questions, of grief and longing. They learned to navigate this new reality together, allowing Emma to set the pace as she rediscovered who she was and what family meant. There were moments of awkward silence, of tears shed for the years lost, but there was also laughter. Soft at first, then growing stronger, a testament to their enduring love. The town that had once been shrouded in sorrow rallied to celebrate Emma's return. A park was renamed in her honor, transformed into a place of color and life, filled with flowers, swings, and a plaque that read, "Where there is love, there is hope." Emma, now 18, chose to keep her name, a tribute to the girl who had survived in silence for so long. She began studying child psychology, determined to help others find their voices in the aftermath of trauma. Emma's story, though marked by suffering, became a beacon for those who believe that even in the darkest circumstances, light endures. She walks the streets of her hometown with quiet strength, her smile tinged with the wisdom of someone who has seen the impossible and survived. Her courage is a reminder that healing is possible, that hope can be rekindled, and that love, above all, has the power to restore what was lost. Through her journey, Emmeline Parker teaches us that the human spirit is remarkably resilient. Her life stands as a testament to the enduring bonds of family, the strength of a community united in compassion, and the belief that no matter how long the night, the dawn will always come.